All right, let's look at part two of updating statistics. So what are we doing when we are updating statistics? We are updating the query optimization on the table object or index views. Okay, keep in mind that if we update an index belongs to a table. Okay, so if we go with the default option and we're going to index all the objects that are part of that table, such as the, update all the objects on that table, such as the indexes, then it looks at the table level. It's not looking, it's not a separate object because those are objects that belong to the table. In fact, if you work with PowerShell like I do, you know that if you're going to go through the indexes, you're going to go through the tables, then the indexes, because the indexes belong to the tables. Okay. Now consider that when we update the query optimization on a table or index view, this is going to affect us or affect our environment because the queries will have to recompile according to Microsoft, right? So, I mean, there's going to be an effect of that, right? We may not want a query to recompile, right? We may not want that in our environment. So we want to consider that trade-off and the type of environment. Whether that's an OLAP environment, an OLTP environment, a mixed environment. Also consider that if we're in an OLAP environment, and let's say we do a weekly load, and that's it. I mean, then our data are there for that week. Why would we be updating the statistics anyway? What's changed, right? We want to update the statistics maybe at one point, but then that's it, okay? As I said earlier, the full scan is going to be the default behavior when updating statistics, but we can also update statistics by using a sample. I'll give a little quick example in a second of that, as opposed to a full table scan or a full scan. Okay, and then we can also update a specific index on the table or a specific statistics name. We'll cover that in a latter part, but we have the option of updating just a specific object on a table here. So let's look at this example using the application database here, where on the first one you see I'm updating the statistics on MO historical table, and you'll see I'm saying with sample 50%. Okay, so it's only going to look at the 50%, and that's what it's going to update the statistics on. If you think about it from a statistical perspective, if you know 50%, think about what that means. The other one here is just this right here. The default behavior of is going to be a full update. Okay, so those are just some things to think about what's happening fundamentally behind the scenes, and especially like in the case of recompiling, depending on the environment, that may not be something that you want it to do. And especially with, let's say, an OLTP table, a really good example of this is, let's say you manage replication. There are a few tables involved in replication that operate exactly identical to OLTP tables. And if you've ever looked at your cleanup job, the cleanup job updates statistics on those two tables. So let's say your cleanup job runs every 20 minutes. Every 20 minutes it's updating the statistics on those, right? What you're going to be doing in an OLTP environment is going to be very different than an OLAP environment, because if data are constantly coming in and out, you may want to update the statistics more frequently. Whereas if it's an OLAP environment and you have specific timed loads, you may only want to be updating statistics infrequently. And then keep in mind, if you're dropping tables and then recreating them, you want to make sure that you're actually updating statistics in a way that you need to do those things. One of my favorite examples of this is working with developers who want to update statistics when it's like, okay, well, why don't you tell me when the last time your statistics were updated? I mean, I can go get the information really quickly, but they don't know, and then I'll show them that their statistics are up to date. Because what is the effect of something? And you try it sometime, drop it and recreate it, reload the data, and look at the effect of that.